Hey, welcome back to Turntable Guy. On the bench today, we have what I believe is Realistic's most desirable turntable. This is the LAB-400. It is a CEC, or it has a faulty dust lid hinges. Anyway, back to what I was saying. It is a CEC manufactured and or microseiki direct drive, fully automatic turntable. And why I say it is one of the most desirable turntables from Realistic, get the sturdy dust cover off here, is because it is gorgeous. It is completely covered in a beautiful wood veneer. I don't think it's vinyl. Could be wrong. Just trying to see here. Well, if it's vinyl, it looks spectacular. If it's wood, even better. I think it's a veneer because it's on top of a plywood, so I'm gonna go with a veneer. Anyway, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful turntable, and it's a great sounding turntable. Not only that, it's a very reliable turntable, and it's just outstanding quality. And when I look at this, I immediately see Hitachi, and that's because the same company that made Hitachi turntables made turntables for Radio Shack. Anyway, I have not plugged this in. This is from the record store dealer that I'm working with right now. I pulled this out of the basement. God only knows how long it's been sitting there. So we're going to plug it in for the first time together and see if it's working or not. I have no clue. All right, 3345. We got a couple pitch controls over here, which are very tight. So those need to be serviced. Start button. I don't know if it has manual start or not. It does not. Record size selector. Okay, so let's do start and see what happens. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. It's dropping a little fast. Maybe not. No, that's okay. And it's auto returning. So this thing's probably been sitting in a basement forever. And it's pretty much functioning. I don't know if there's a manual mode on this thing. I do not believe there is. Or is that? Let's start, reject, start, repeat. Huh, interesting. So I'm just going to check speed here. 33. Yeah, these pots are filthy. I'm having trouble stabilizing speed. Can't quite achieve 33. Oh, there it is. But it's wavering. 45 is a little better. Still doesn't lock perfectly. That's 45 there. It's back and forth. So these are obviously dirty. It's your typical, vintage turntable issues. Dirty pots, dirty controls. Sometimes you get sticky grease. You know the drill. I've done this for a long time now. If you've watched my videos, you know exactly what's going to be the problem. You usually don't see a lot of electrical problems or electronic problems on tables like this. So let's get this table serviced. And then I'm going to give it a beautiful cleaning. And I'm going to put a nice coat of Howard's Feed and Wax on there to get into the wood grain and make it look really nice. I have ordered a stylus for it because it has a pretty competent cartridge. It's got a Shure M70 EJ, which is a pretty decent cartridge. So I'm just waiting for the stylus to come in on that. And well, let's service it. Why did I put that back on? Get off our counterweight. Take off our platter and mat. And I have a feeling that we're going to be able to service this motor right from the top. So let's do that first. And then we'll get underneath and get going on all the controls. But in the meantime, so I have to apologize. My camera stopped recording right while I was pulling the motor up. Sorry about that. So there is this plate that sits over the motor. Well, this has to be on top. And it's just removed by 3 screws in the bottom. I'll put it back together so you can see how I took it apart. Nothing crazy here. It's the same. Well, I'm having some real problems with my camera today. I don't know what's going on. It keeps stopping on its own. And I'm going to have to keep an eye on it. So I did lubricate the motor. I'm going to show it again because it wasn't, it was cut out. I just used some 3-in-1 motor oil. Okay, this is for electric motors. Don't use a regular 3-in-1 because it has detergents in it that you don't want in a bearing. I applied 2 or 3 drops into the bearing well and a little bit on the shaft there of the axle. And now I'm just going to put it back on. And what's going to happen is that's going to slowly work its way down, force the air out of the bearing, and it should go back to where it was. Now this is a very tight tolerance motor, so if you over lubricate it, it's going to take a while for this to settle down. As you can see, as I'm pushing, it wants to push back. So we're just going to have to wait for that to settle down. If you get a situation where it's just not doing it, you can put the platter on top, a little bit of extra weight, and that will force the air out. Okay, I'm going to pause here. I want to check my camera again. And when I come back, this will be seated where it's supposed to be. And we'll put the motor back together and we'll put it back in the table. That way you can understand how I took it out. Hey, welcome back. We have a red alert situation here. I have the motor just turned upside down here. I'm letting the air come out. And I just noticed something, which is very, very bad. Give me one sec here. I'm just going to put the retaining clip back on, which I believe was over here, just to keep the motor from popping up. So this requires some capacitors. So this table was manufactured in 1979, and it has Matsushita capacitors in it. It has the blue ones. As you might guess, they're leaking. Okay. This is going to be really hard to work on because I don't have a lot of space here. Okay, this cap here is leaking. It's 100 microfarad at 100 volt. Sorry, 100 microfarad at 25 volt. I need better glasses. There. Okay, so I believe to remove this board, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, holy, a lot of screws. No, these are holding on the heat sink to the main chip. We don't need to remove those. This one, that one. Looks like three screws. Stay. Okay. So this one. I'm going to put a mark here so I know it goes back the right way. So, like that. You have to be incredibly careful when removing a board like this because the little motor coils attach here. And you do not want to damage those. I just hope we can lift this up. This one goes all the way through. It's a big long screw. No, this one as well. short. So this is the long one. Put a little mark here. Got it? Here we go. Oh dear, this is very delicate work. Oh wow. Okay, this could be a disaster waiting to happen. I'm not going to desolder these. I am, though, going to remove the capacitors flat and then put them back in. So I'm going to show you what we got going on here. So just hang on. Oh my God, it's still recording. My piece of crap camera today. Let's see here. Which one was it? There it is. Can you see that leg there? Let's see if I get some light on there. Do you see the leg? That's a very, there. It's actually, it's rotting on both the positive and the negative. Usually just the negative. So, oh, this one too. The 16, do you see the fuzzies there? All right, so you know what we have to do. This is not going to be an easy job. I'm not going to be able to do this on camera. So I'm going to stop here. I'm going to replace all the capacitors on this board because these are a nightmare. And when I come back, we will continue on with the reassembly of the motor. So that was probably one of the worst recapping jobs I've ever had to do. You can see the tiny little motor coil wires and where they solder to the board. So pin number 1, which is on the left-hand side there, that one snapped as I was working, just the back and forth motion. And then pin number 1, 2, 3 became desoldered because the capacitor leg is joined right to the motor coil wire. So those two came undone. The pin number 3 wasn't a problem because I just soldered it back down when I put the new cap in. But pin number 1, I had to cut a tiny piece of copper. So I basically took a piece of copper wire and removed one of the little strands, tinned the end, attached it to the old wire, and then soldered it to the pad, hoping that as soon as I soldered it to the pad, that the connection with the old wire didn't come undone. It seems to be okay. I've checked for continuity and it's all right. So yeah, that was a nightmare. So here are the caps. This 4.7 is okay. This 100 is bad. A lot of the rust came off, a lot of the corrosion and stuff came off when I heated it up, but this one's okay. That one's okay. This one's corroded. You can kind of see it there. And this one was corroded. So 3 out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 were bad. But anyway, we got that back together. So I'm going to go back up on the mount here. I'm going to turn the light off. Sorry. And I'll show you how we put this motor back together. So keep these caps, the old caps, so the customer knows what I've done. And we're just going to put this back. I'm just going to move this over a little bit here. Okay. Very delicate work. If you know what you're doing, that's something you can attempt. If not, you can get into a lot of trouble, especially with those little ones, these little wires. Nasty. Okay, so this is the back cover for it. It just goes over that. There's 2 holes here for fine adjustment of speed. And these wires should be up here. Just like that. And then you want to flip this up like that. And I can't remember which way this went. It goes like that. So like this. Right? Kind of. Like that. Okay, I shifted the top a little bit, and now it'll go in. There we go. Holy hell, am I glad that's done. Wow. So, that's probably a spot where a lot of people wouldn't bother to look. Right on the motor itself. Especially for bad capacitors. glad. And, you know, my eye just caught that one that was sticking through the hole. It's just lucky that I got my eye on there and I happened to see it. Otherwise, it would have continued to rot and the electrolyte would have leaked on the board and would have eventually caused some damage to the traces. Now, just for curiosity, here's this very bad capacitor, okay? And we're just going to test it. Okay, let's see what we got here. Is that, there we go. Okay, so it's 100 microfarad. It's at 116.8 and the ESR is 0.64. So that's still within spec. And that's what I've noticed on a lot of these Matsushita caps that are leaking, that they still measure within spec, even with the leaking electrolyte. But you definitely want to get those out of there. Don't screw around, because it is going to affect it eventually. Okay, let's carry on. Soldering irons off. Okay, let's take care of these pitch controls over here. We'll flip the table over. Walnut grained vinyl veneer. Haha. So it is vinyl. Certainly doesn't feel like vinyl. It looks a lot nicer. We just need to remove the one side here. I don't like the way these wires are sitting. I actually might pull this out and tuck those wires in. I just don't like the way they're sitting there. I put it back. So once you pull the left side off here, there's going to be all the tone arm and all the controls. Although, let's just remove the whole bottom. I think the speed pots are over here. Just take it off together here. You know what this looks like? It looks like a Marantz 6200, 6300, whatever it is. The turntable everybody wants. Looks identical as far as build quality and the way it's set up, because it's made by the same company. Yeah, we didn't need to take this side off. That's okay. Get a look underneath. I haven't worked on one of these in a long time. I did a 420 not too long ago, which is quite a bit different. It's a little bit newer and not as nice. This 400 is a beauty. Okay. Yeah, we'll get those wires tucked in nicely. See? Oh, look at that. I could have freaking unplugged it. Right here. I could have just unplugged the motor and saved myself a hell of a lot of problems. Grr. Oh well, it's okay. It's done now. We're not going to touch these caps. They're probably 100% fine. You know, I say probably, and then people go, well, you didn't really tested it. You know, you really should test it first. Let's test it. It is a 470 at 50. It's measuring 478, 0.39 ESR. It's perfect. So because that one's okay, I'm going to say this one's okay too. They're not leaking. They look perfect. I'm going to leave those alone. We're going to hit our potentiometers here. Give those a nice cleaning. And we're going to hit our, that's our speed switch, isn't it? Yeah, oops. We'll, I don't know if we can clean that I think that's a sealed pot. Yeah, there's no way you can get any cleaner into this unless you take it apart. I'm not doing that. All right, go on the back side here. A good spray. I'm using Deoxit F5. And then we're going to lift this. And we're just going to work these back and forth to distribute the cleaner. And I'll continue with that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the base back on because I don't want to bore you with that again. We'll put it up top, and I think that's it for this one. Hey, welcome back. So we're all back together here, and we're just setting up the cartridge because it had moved. It was loose. So I'm just going to redo the alignment on it. And I pulled up the owner's manual. And right here it says the distance between the stylus tip and the center of the motor spindle is 15 millimeters. So what you need to do is to adjust the tip just past the spindle to 15 millimeters. So I'm not quite there yet. I just have to go back a little bit more, but I'm going to get that done. I've installed a stylus that I have in stock myself. I have an M70EJ myself, so I'm just going to run that so we can do a sound test on this thing. So let me just get that stylus, the cartridge all aligned, and I should be right back. Okay, we're just going to set up the tracking force and anti-skating now. You have to run the turntable, otherwise you can't get the arm to go down. If you don't feel comfortable with the platter spinning, just unplug it from the mains. So we're just going to balance up the arm. Just about there. And a little bit more. There we go. So the arm's floating nicely. Back to its rest. Set the scale to 0. And we'll adjust for 2 grams. And let's just see how accurate that was. Oh, hang on, I gotta pause. My weight is in the other room. I was setting up a new Shure V15-3 that I picked up on my main table, so I had my weight scale out there. Okay, let's see. Very good. Off by a little bit, but that's not anything to get worried about. Just drop that back just a little bit. And we'll call that 2 grams. We'll adjust anti-skating for 2. And we should be good for a sound test. Plug it back in, it should be spinning. Let's do the automatic. Just so you know, the speed is fantastic now. No problems, no wavering. Both the pitch controls are working excellent. Okay, here we go. It's got muting on it, so you don't hear the thud of the stylus. Now we can just adjust the pitch a little bit because now we've got 2 grams on the record. Sounds good. Sounds great. Works nicely. Let's check our auto return. Excellent. Working great. Sounding great. Looking great. I don't know if you can notice on video, but I gave it a nice cleaning. Unfortunately, because it is a vinyl veneer and not an actual wood veneer, I'm not going to put that oil on it. The what's it called here? If you do have a wood turntable, I really recommend this Howard's Feed and Wax. It's a wood polish and conditioner. It has beeswax and orange oil, and it makes your wood look really nice, even on other stuff like receivers, as long as it's a real wood. Speakers. If it's a vinyl, all you're going to be doing is you're going to wipe it on and it's going to look bright, but as soon as you wipe it off, it's not going to penetrate, right? Because vinyl's plastic. So anyway, that is the Realistic LAB-400. This was a very tricky turntable, and luckily I happened to notice that bad capacitor on the motor board. There were 3 bad capacitors, and that was a hell of a job, especially with the tiny coil wires that attach to the motor control board. That was almost a heart attack. I don't recommend working on that board, and really, you know, if I had opened up the bottom, I would have been able to unplug it and had a little bit more room to work on. But anyway, it's done and it's working. It's looking great. I did give the lid a light clarifying polish, so it's not perfect, but it's going to be very saleable. And if someone wants to get in there, and I'm not doing what I did for that dual CS2110 where I got in with the sandpaper and gave it a wet sand and polish. This one just got a motorized buffing. So it's looking great. And there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. I thought I had done one of these before, but I guess I did 420 on the channel. So this is the first time I've done a 400 on the channel. And it's just a gorgeous turntable. I highly recommend it if you get a chance to pick one of these up. It's exactly the same as a lot of the Hitachis and Yamahas and Marantzas of the day. So this is a really good turntable. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We will catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.